You've probably taken an Uber dozens of times. Maybe late at night, maybe after a party, and like most people, you probably just assumed you'd get home safely. But not everyone does. In tonight's video, you'll hear 3 allegedly true stories from passengers who got into what seemed like an ordinary ride and ended up in a waking nightmare. In the first story, a woman's Uber driver takes a strange detour and ends the ride by handing her a photo of herself that she's never seen before, one taken inside her apartment. He wasn't just her driver. He'd been watching her for months. In the second story, a late-night ride turns unsettling when the driver starts saying things the passenger has never told anyone, things she doesn't even remember happening. And when she finds video evidence of herself in the same back seat months before, she realizes this isn't the first time she's taken this ride. It might be the third. And in the final story, told entirely from your perspective, you get into a car with a driver who seems familiar. Too familiar. By the time you realize where you've seen his face before, it's already too late. And the most terrifying part, this was never your first ride. Stay with us through every second, because each story is darker than the last. And by the end, you might never take an Uber the same way again. Story 1, the route wasn't wrong, but something was off. I was 22 when this happened, fresh out of college, working nights at a marketing agency that paid me in stress and stale break room coffee. My car had broken down that week, so I started using Uber to get home. It was a 30-minute drive from the city center to my apartment in the suburbs, just far enough for things to go wrong unnoticed. It was Thursday. I worked late. I requested my usual ride, comfort option, 4.9 plus rating. A black Camry pulled up, license plate matched. Driver's name was Darren, older guy, bald, sunglasses, even though it was dark. He leaned over and said, "Emily?" I nodded. He smiled. "Hop in." So I did. From the start, something felt off. Not wrong, just mismatched. The car was spotless. Too spotless. No air freshener, no crumbs, no personal touches. Even the trunk had a faint chemical scent, like bleach trying to hide something. He didn't speak much. No, "How's your night?" or "Working late?" Just a nod as he pulled out onto the street. I stared at my phone, watching the blue GPS line chart our route. But after 10 minutes, I noticed something weird. We were still in the downtown loop, circling blocks, not moving toward the highway. I think you missed the turn," I said. He replied, calm and low, "I'm avoiding construction. Got a better route." I looked down at the app. The route had adjusted, still showed ETA as 29 minutes. I hesitated. He hadn't turned off the app. The route was legit, but it felt wrong. About 20 minutes in, we were on back roads, no streetlights, just trees and industrial fencing. The GPS still said we were en route, but my gut screamed otherwise. "You sure this is the best way?" I asked. He gave me a half smile in the mirror. "Faster, safer." I gripped my phone tighter, opened my friend group chat and typed, "This Uber is weird, route seems off." But I didn't send it. Not yet. I didn't want to overreact. Then something small happened that tipped everything over. He pulled up to a red light, the only one on that stretch of road, and the car stalled. Not violently, just stopped. He sighed, tapped the wheel and said, "She does that sometimes." Then he looked back at me and said, "Mind hopping out and checking if my taillight's working?" I blinked. "What?" "My rear left. It goes out sometimes. Just take a quick look." I froze. "No, it's fine, really." He shrugged. "Your call." The light turned green. He didn't move. "Car's not budging," he said. "Try opening your door." My fingers hovered above the door handle. Then I noticed it. The child lock switch was missing. I leaned forward. "You can unlock it from the front, right?" He didn't answer. He just smiled. I felt something primal tighten in my chest. I opened the Uber app again, hit emergency. A pop-up appeared. "Do you want to contact 911? I hesitated. Then the car started moving. He drove in silence all the way to a new location I'd never seen before. An abandoned parking lot with one light flickering in the corner. I whispered, "This isn't my address." He parked, put the car in neutral, and said, "You seem like someone who notices things most people miss." My blood went cold. That was the exact same line the guy from the dating app used on me 3 months ago. The one I blocked after he sent a weird photo of me leaving my building. I hadn't told anyone that, not even my friends. I didn't think they were connected until now. He reached into the glove compartment slowly, deliberately, like he wanted me to see him do it. I didn't wait to find out what was inside. I kicked the door as hard as I could. It didn't budge. I screamed, pounded the window. He looked at me. No rage, no panic, just calm curiosity. "You always knew it wasn't random, didn't you?" I don't know how long I sat frozen in that seat. The man, Darren, or whatever his name really was, never raised his voice, never lunged, never looked angry. He just watched me, like he was waiting for something to click. "You always knew it wasn't random, didn't you?" he said again. I didn't answer. I was locked in a black Camry in a dead lot. No foot traffic, no open businesses, just that one flickering street lamp, and him calmly tapping the wheel like we were waiting for takeout. Then he leaned forward, slow and careful, and reached for the glove box again. This time I couldn't wait. I screamed and slammed my elbow into the window. Nothing. Not even a crack. Then he opened the glove compartment and pulled out a stack of photos. He handed one to me over the seat. I didn't want to take it, but I did, with shaking hands. It was a photo of me, standing in my building's elevator, yawning, holding a coffee, from months ago. Another photo, me eating lunch at the bench outside work. Another, me at the gym, mid-stretch, all taken from a distance. "You think the ride started at pickup," he said softly, "but it started months ago." I gasped for air. My chest was seizing. The photo slid from my lap like dead weight. "What do you want?" I asked. Voice cracked. He didn't answer. Just started driving again. No destination set. No music. No headlights. The screen on his dashboard had a GPS open, but it wasn't the Uber app. It was a custom map. Pins marked. One of them was my apartment. Another was my workplace. And a third I didn't recognize. He pulled off onto a gravel road flanked by trees. No signs, no lights. No way out on foot without running blind into the woods. I looked at my phone. Dead. Battery gone. Or maybe disabled. I didn't know. "You don't recognize that third pin, do you?" he asked, still smiling. I didn't answer. He continued, like it was a conversation we'd already had. "That's where you told him no. The first guy. Lucas, remember?" My blood turned to ice. Lucas. The guy I blocked on Hinge 3 months ago. The one who messaged me strange things about knowing who I really was. "You said no, and that should have been it," he said. "But some people leave a mess behind." He stopped the car again. Deep in the woods now. No signal, just trees and darkness. He reached into the back seat and pulled out a small box, set it in the center console like it was nothing. "Open it." I didn't move. You should see what you meant to him. Against everything in me, I opened the box. Inside were a ring, a lock of hair, a flash drive, and a note that said, "For when she forgets." I started crying, sobbing. "Why are you doing this?" I begged. He didn't yell. He whispered, "Because some people are so important. They have to be remembered by more than one person. He watched you. I watched you, but I was the only one who could finish the story." He got out of the car. I thought he was going to come around, open the door, drag me out. But instead, he walked 10 steps forward and just stood there, still, back turned, like he was waiting for something else. That's when I saw it. The keys were still in the ignition. He'd left the car running. I acted on instinct, climbed into the driver's seat, heart in my throat, and threw it into reverse. The car screamed, gravel kicked. I expected him to turn, run at me, smash the window. He didn't. He just stood there, still. As I tore down the road, headlights off, breath ragged, I looked in the rearview mirror. He was still there, smiling. I made it to a gas station 15 minutes later, ran inside, locked myself in the bathroom, and collapsed. The workers called the police. They found the Camry abandoned the next morning, but no sign of him. Here's the twist. When the police pulled the Camry's VIN, they learned something I still can't explain. The car didn't belong to anyone named Darren. It had been registered under a company name, a Shell Rideshare account. The real Darren, the man in the photo attached to the Uber profile, had been dead for 6 weeks, murdered in his home. The profile photo had been scraped from LinkedIn. The phone number attached to the Rideshare account. A burner. The car. Rented. The man I met that night. He didn't exist. And yet he knew everything. Where I lived, who I'd blocked, where I'd been. And when they analyzed the flash drive from the box, it contained folders labeled with names, photos, logs, chat transcripts, surveillance notes. I wasn't the only one. There were 9 folders. 8 of the names were now listed in open missing persons cases. The 9th folder was mine, and it was still open. Story 2, This Is Not My Driver. I found this story on Reddit. Okay, I don't know if I'm crazy or if this actually happened, but I need to get it out before I lose my nerve. I wrote this in notes first, and then copied it over here. Sorry if it's long or rambling. I haven't slept. This happened 2 nights ago, and I still feel like I'm trapped in the back seat of that car. I took an Uber home from a friend's place around 12:45 a.m. I'd had 2 drinks, not drunk, just tired. It was a chill night. I wasn't expecting anything weird. The app said my driver's name was Raymond, 4.93 stars, gray Honda Civic. He had 900+ rides, and his profile pic showed a guy in his 40s with glasses and a goatee. Normal enough. The car pulled up. Same license plate. Gray Civic. I opened the door, leaned in and said, "Hey, for Sam." No response. The driver just gave me a little nod. That should have been my first red flag. He didn't say my name. Didn't say his. Just unlocked the doors. But I got in anyway. At first everything was fine. The route was right, and the estimated time was 27 minutes. We drove in silence, which I honestly preferred. I'm not great at small talk with strangers, especially not after midnight. But after maybe 10 minutes, I noticed something that made my stomach twist. His hands. They were pale, really pale, like blood-drained pale, and they were shaking. Just slightly, but definitely shaking. He kept adjusting his grip on the steering wheel, tapping one thumb against it like he were counting down to something. Still, he didn't speak. About 15 minutes into the ride, we were passing the mall near my apartment when I saw him glance into the rearview mirror. Not a normal glance. He stared, like locked eyes with me through the mirror, and then he smiled. But the smile didn't reach his eyes. It was the kind of smile people make in hostage videos. "Is this close to where you live?" he said. His voice was raspy, like someone who hadn't spoken all day or all week. I blinked. Yeah, we're close. You can just follow the app." He nodded again, but we didn't turn where the app told him to. Instead, we kept going, past the entrance to my street, past the grocery store, past the second turn that would have also worked. I spoke up again. "You missed the turn." He didn't answer. I repeated it louder. "Hey, that was my street." Still no answer, so I pulled up the app and tapped the emergency button. I didn't hit "Call 911. Not yet. But I wanted him to see me do it. He looked at me in the mirror again, and he said, "We're almost there." I told him to pull over. I said it firmly, tried to sound confident, like I'd fight back if I had to. That's when he laughed. Not a big laugh, just one short, dry, broken sound. "I know, you've done this before." I froze. "What?" "The emergency button. You hit it last time, too." I had no idea what he was talking about. I'd never been in this situation before. I'd never reported a driver. I asked him again to let me out. He ignored me and made a left turn onto a dark street I'd never seen before. That's when I started texting my friend Max. Just SOS Uber driver, going wrong way. I dropped a pin, hit send, but the message failed. No signal. Now I'm panicking, like full-on heart pounding, mouth dry, tunnel vision panic. I grab the door handle. It doesn't move. I reach for the window button. Nothing. I lean forward, start yelling, "Let me out. Let me out of the car." He doesn't flinch. He just says, with that same calm, dead voice, "You always panic around this part." Like this was a routine. Like I was following a script. We finally stop. We're parked in front of a rundown house at the edge of town. No lights on inside. No street lights. Just moonlight on the roof and shadows in the windows. The driver turns off the engine. Doesn't move. I grab my phone again. Still no bars. That's when he turns to look at me for the first time. And I swear to God, it's not the same man from the profile picture. He's younger, maybe late 20s. No glasses, no goatee. His hair is slicked back, and there's something off about his eyes, like he's done too much Adderall or not enough sleep. I say, "Who are you?" And he replies, "It's not important who I am, it's who you are." Then he reaches behind the passenger seat. I brace myself. I'm about to grab anything, the seatbelt, the door, the seat lever, ready to fight. But he just pulls out a manila envelope and hands it to me. "Read it." I don't move, so he tosses it into my lap. I open it. Inside are photos, not printed ones. Old Polaroids, all of me. But I don't remember any of them being taken. One of me sitting in my kitchen, eating cereal. One of me walking to my car. One of me asleep in bed, taken from my hallway. And then there's a handwritten note at the bottom. "You don't remember, but I do." Let's start again. I screamed, kicked the door, punched the window, slammed the side of the car with my elbow. He didn't stop me. He didn't move. He just watched. Then he said, "You always make it this far. But this time, maybe you'll remember." Okay, I don't even know how to keep writing this. I'm shaking just remembering it. If this doesn't make sense, I'm sorry. I'm typing everything exactly how I remember it. No edits. After he handed me the envelope of photos, I thought I was going to pass out. My hands were numb. My ears were ringing. I kept whispering to myself, "This isn't happening. This isn't happening." But it was. He just sat there, hands resting on his thighs, like we were waiting for a show to start. "You don't remember me," he said, "but I remember every version of you." I finally snapped. I screamed at him. "What the fuck are you talking about? What is this? Who are you?" He didn't yell back. He didn't even blink. He just tilted his head, like a confused dog, and said, "You always forget. But you always scream in the car." I grabbed the envelope and tried to wedge it between the seat and the door. My only thought was, leave fingerprints, evidence, do something that proves you were here. That's when he leaned in slightly and said, "You think this is the first time you've taken this ride?" That shut me up, because I could tell by the look in his eyes. He believed it. I said, "I've never seen you before in my life." He smiled, but not out of amusement, more like disappointment. "You said that last time, too." He pulled out his phone. Not a normal one. It was old, brick style, no apps, no touch screen. He scrolled, clicked a few buttons, then turned the screen toward me. There was a video. Blurry. But I recognized it immediately. It was me, sitting in this same back seat, same sweater, same jeans, same hairstyle, same man. I was crying in the video, begging, saying, "Please, I won't forget again." I started hyperventilating. I don't even remember doing it, but I must have unlocked the child lock, because I finally threw open the door and ran blindly through brush, thorns, empty lots. My feet were bleeding. I didn't stop until I hit pavement and saw a Waffle House sign in the distance. I ran inside, collapsed on the floor. Cops came. They took my statement, called in a K-9 unit to search the area I'd run from. They never found the car. They never found him. But here's where it gets worse. They asked me to describe him. I told them, early 30s, brown hair, sharp jaw, cold eyes. They showed me a lineup of possible matches, Uber frauds, identity thieves. None of them were him. I said, he used the name Raymond. He had a fake profile picture. The detective looked at me and said, "We've had one other report of something similar, from 3 months ago. A woman your age, different name, different area. Said she had photos taken of her in bed. Same kind of envelope." I asked, "Where is she now?" He paused, then said, "She doesn't remember giving the report." The department's psych team interviewed me next. They asked me if I had a history of delusions, if I'd ever taken medication for memory loss, if I had any dissociative episodes. I said no. They asked if I'd been in therapy before. I said yes, after a stalker incident involving someone named Lucas. That's when the doctor's expression changed. He said, "Can you describe Lucas?" I did. Same jawline, same cold eyes, same voice. Then the therapist said something that made my spine feel like it cracked open. "You described the same man. Twice." That night, I dug through my old journals, Google Docs, voice memos, and I found it. A journal entry dated almost exactly 1 year ago. "Uber ride last night. Driver knew my name before I got in. Route seemed off. He asked me to read a note in the glove box." But I didn't remember writing it. I didn't remember any of that ride, or what was in the note. 2 days later, I got an envelope in the mail. No return address, just my name, printed in block letters. Inside was one item, a USB drive. I plugged it into an old laptop. I wasn't risking my main computer. The only file was a video, time-stamped 1 year ago. Me, in the same back seat, sobbing, pleading, saying the exact same words I said 2 nights ago. Word for word. "Please, I won't forget again." But here's the most messed up part. At the end of the video, he handed me a Polaroid and said, If you remember this, it means we're done. And on the screen, I took it, held it in my hands, started crying harder. I remember now, I whispered. Then the video ended. I don't remember what the photo showed. I don't remember any of that night. But someone, something, does. And if what he said was true, this wasn't the second time I've taken that ride. It was the third. Story 3. You chose the wrong ride home. You knew better. You did everything right. You checked the license plate, matched the make and model, confirmed the driver's name, even waited for him to say your name before opening the door. Hey, you're Elle, right? Yeah, you said, hesitating only a second. You're Leo? He nodded. Hop in. So you did. You sat in the back seat. Seatbelt clicked, phone in hand. The route lit up on the screen. It was supposed to be a 17-minute ride home. But the moment the door shut behind you, it felt off. The temperature, the air, the way the driver adjusted his mirror to see you just a little too clearly. You told yourself you were overthinking. That's what your therapist says you do. But your instincts are louder tonight, and they don't shut up. The first 5 minutes are quiet. Too quiet. No small talk, not even music, just the hum of the engine and the subtle sound of breathing. His and yours. He takes the first 2 turns perfectly. No detours, no weird glances. But at the third light, instead of going straight like the app shows, he turns left. You sit up. I think that was supposed to be straight. He doesn't look back. Just says, GPS says this is faster. Less traffic. You glance at your phone. The route has adjusted, just like it always does. Technically, he's right. So why do you feel like you're moving in the wrong direction? You grip your phone tighter. Open the Uber app. Thumb over the emergency button. Still, you don't press it. You hate being dramatic. You think about your ex, how he used to call you paranoid when you double-checked door locks or asked for a location pin on walks. You're always waiting for something bad to happen, he said once. Maybe he was right, but maybe he was just never in the back seat of a car that felt like a sealed box. Is this your normal shift? You ask, voice tighter than you want it to be. Leo doesn't answer. You see him blink in the mirror. His eyes linger too long. Not really. Then silence again. That's when you start to notice the photos. Taped to the visor, printed, small, in black and white. You can only see the edges, but one looks like a sidewalk. Another maybe a park bench. You lean forward, pretending to yawn, just to see more. One of the photos is you, from behind, walking. Your stomach folds into itself. You don't say anything, not yet. You need to stay calm. You check the app again. ETA, 9 minutes. But the street outside doesn't look familiar. You're now on a narrow 2-lane road lined with trees and fences. No lights, no traffic. You send a quick message to your best friend. Not sure about this Uber. Here's my location. You hit send. Message failed. No service. Of course. You finally speak up. I'm sorry. This really isn't the right way. Can you just pull over and let me out? Leo doesn't slow down. Instead, he says, you've always been good at remembering faces. But not mine. The voice doesn't even sound like it did at pickup. You blink. What? He keeps driving. It's okay. You wouldn't remember me, but I remember you. Your skin goes cold. You start to speak again, but he interrupts. You wore a red sweater the night we met. You kept tugging the sleeves over your hands. You feel nauseous. The only time you ever wore that sweater was last year, the night after you broke up with Mark. The only person who saw you that night was... No, it couldn't be. I'm pulling over, you say, loud and firm. You reach for the door. It doesn't open. You try the window. Nothing. Child locks. Let me out, You snap, panic slipping into your voice now. He turns into a gravel road flanked by storage buildings and overgrown weeds. Then he stops, finally. "It's better if you remember it this time," he says, calmly. He reaches into his jacket. You scream, kick the back of his seat. He pulls out a folded photo. He hands it back to you like it's nothing. "That's the last time we were together." You unfold it. Your throat closes. It's you, crying on the floor of your old apartment. In the background, he's standing in the doorway, but your face, in the photo, is looking straight at him. You don't remember that moment. You don't remember ever seeing him there. But the timestamp says 11:24 p.m., October 3rd, the same night your apartment was broken into. The one time you chalked it up to a mistake because nothing was taken and no one was caught. Mark said you imagined the whole thing, but now... Leo unlocks the doors, doesn't say a word, just looks at you in the mirror, like he's waiting to see if you'll run. You grab your phone and fumble for the latch. You throw the door open, sprint into the road. Your legs barely feel real. You don't stop until you hit asphalt and see lights ahead. A gas station. You burst through the doors and collapse by the register. The clerk calls the cops. They arrive 10 minutes later. You try to explain what happened. They run the plate. The car doesn't come up under Leo. The name on the Uber app? Fake. The photo? Scraped from Facebook. The ride history? Wiped. They pull security footage from the gas station. There's no record of the car pulling up. No footage of you entering. No proof you were dropped off. It's like the ride never existed. You're sitting in the back of a police cruiser now, wrapped in one of those silver thermal blankets that crinkle too loud and do nothing to calm you down. The officer in the front seat is making a call. You hear fragments. Says the guy called himself Leo. No matches on the database. Burner profile. You're not listening anymore. You're looking at your hands. They're shaking like they don't belong to you, because this is the part where you're supposed to feel safe. The part where help arrives. But it doesn't. The police ask you again to explain what happened. You walk them through it. The pickup, the route, the weird turn, the photo, the face. You try to describe Leo, his voice, his face, the way he said you wore a red sweater and cried behind a locked door a year ago. And then you say something you didn't mean to say out loud. "I think he knew me better than anyone else." The officer raises an eyebrow. "Do you mean your ex?" You shake your head. You don't know what you mean, because nothing adds up, and everything feels too familiar. They take you back to the station to file a formal report. You sit in a cold chair under fluorescent lights and sign paperwork with your name on it, but it feels like you're forging someone else's signature. They offer you a ride home. You say no. You call your sister instead. She picks you up an hour later, wraps you in a hug, doesn't ask too many questions. You try to sleep at her place, but your body refuses to shut down. So you do what you always do when your thoughts race. You scroll. Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, and then you do something you swore you wouldn't do. You open Uber. You go to your ride history. There's nothing there for last night. The last ride listed is from 6 days ago. To your therapist's office. You check your email. No receipt, no charge, no evidence it ever happened. Your hands start to shake again. You close the app. You open your Photos app. Not sure why. And there it is. A new photo. Time-stamped 12:38 a.m. last night. It's you, in the back seat of a car, taken from the rearview mirror. The angle is perfect. Too perfect. You're looking down. Hands in your lap. Eyes red. And behind the reflection of your face is another face. Blurry, but smiling. You throw your phone. You scream. Your sister comes running. You don't explain. She sleeps in the room with you that night. And still, you wake up gasping, hearing the sound of the car door unlocking in your dreams. The next day, you go to your old apartment. You haven't lived there in months, but the landlord still remembers you. You ask him if you can look at the guest book from the week of October 3rd, the night of the break-in. He frowns, says he doesn't keep paper logs anymore, but he does remember something. A man had come asking about you, said he was your cousin, said you'd lost your phone and wanted to check on your place. He let him in. Did he give a name? You ask. The landlord shrugs. Leon or Lenny, something like that. You go home, start digging. Old texts, journals, photos, everything. You find nothing on Leo, no connections. But then you look at your own contact list, and you see it. A number you don't recognize. No name, just the letter L. No message history, no calls. Just a number sitting in your phone like it belongs there. You dial it. It rings once. Then a voice picks up, and it's him. L, he says, warm and calm. You remembered. You freeze. I didn't save your number. He laughs. You did, a long time ago. You try to hang up, but your fingers won't move. What do you want? To finish what we started. Then silence. You go back to the police. They try calling the number. Disconnected. They try tracing the Uber ride. Nothing. The VIN from the car you described still doesn't exist. Weeks pass. You try to move on, but sometimes, just sometimes, you catch a glimpse of a gray Honda Civic in traffic, and your stomach turns. Sometimes a man in a hoodie glances your way, and your breath stops short. And then you get an email from an address you don't know, no subject, just one photo, a screenshot of your Uber profile, and a caption, "Let's not forget again." This time, you delete the app. This time, you throw away the phone. But deep down, you know, this was never about the app. It wasn't even about the ride. It was always about you. And somewhere out there, Leo is waiting for you to take the ride again. And next time, you might not get out. If you made it to the end of this video, you're braver than most, because not everyone walks away from a ride like that. Some people never make it home. If these stories made you double-check your ride or gave you chills you're still trying to shake, hit that like button. It lets us know you want more terrifying true stories. Subscribe so you don't miss what's coming next. Because some rides, some knocks, some messages are just the beginning. And if you've ever had a ride that felt off or a driver who made your stomach drop, share this video because someone you know might be next. Thanks for watching. And remember, always check the license plate, always sit in the back, and always trust your gut.